Since Spacies.
G'day invaders and welcome to Since Spacies, and yes, I've been off the air for a little bit now, but this is a video where I look back at my very first visit to PAX Australia. Now, for those who don't know, PAX is a convention that was put together to try and compete against E3, because E3 at the time when it was when PAX first started was not available to the general public, and so the guys at Penny Arcade, they decided that no, we should be putting something together to celebrate gaming and give it to the gamers. So this is the only PAX event that's available outside of the US, and I scratched my head thinking, why is this not available to more countries? I really do hope that you guys in Europe and also in the UK, because you guys are different now, I really do hope that you guys get a chance to experience this. But anyway, let's have a look at some of the footage that I got from PAX Australia 2019. Come on, you should be good at this.
They haven't given me an axe.
So the trip was really good. I had such a ball. I took a week off from work to make sure that I had nothing to get in the way of me enjoying this. Except that on the way back, there was a 2-hour flight delay. I complain about it, but I put up with it. That's not something I can do anything about. But while waiting for the flight, something started to feel wrong, and I started to get what I called a PAX pox. I got terribly sick, and I've been sick for the last week, which is why it's taken me this long to get in front of the camera. I'm still not 100% now, but I will be returning to work tomorrow as of recording. But just a bit of a heads up for anyone that's going to these large conventions, bring hand sanitizer with you and just arm yourself with lots of, I don't know, cleaning towels or something, because you're going to be touching controllers, you're going to be handshaking and mouth interacting with mouth breathers. Yeah, just be on your guard. It's something that caught me, and I haven't really been this sick since 2006. I think that was the last time I really got sick like this. Anyway, don't want to be a downer on the whole thing. The event was so cool. It was so great to be able to meet up with some of my followers and people that I follow back on Twitter. And it was just a good for me. It wasn't about the lights and the loud sounds of the modern section. Don't want to sound like an old man or anything. I enjoyed that. I really did get a real good experience with looking at Death Stranding and having a look at the new Final Fantasy VII HD remake and Medieval. A lot of remakes in that sentence, wasn't there? But no, it was really cool to see the new modern game stuff being shown off. But if you head down towards the retro scene, you got to see some things like this.
Pac-Man. Bloody cheating, are we? Oh no, there's a board jam.
I've broken it.
You broke it.
It's all supposed to be stuck.
Where's the
Oh, it's right off the back there.
Hey, watch it. Yeah, watch it. The Sega Master 10 is breaking the damn pinball machine. It's playing the Ghostbusters. How good is the strings on these things now?
Oh, great. Oh, they're even better than that now, though.
Yeah, I know. There's one up there. Oh, doesn't matter. Ghostbusters. There's two of them in a row.
They're 3 balls. They're 3 games. Wow.
Yay!
They're all 3 games.
Yeah, they're all free. Yeah, there's another one up there which has got full LCD. It's awesome.
And that's where I bumped into my friends down there at Oz Retro Gamer and Weird and Retro and all the other guys there that take care of that area. Just such a great bunch of guys, and we use that as kind of like a little base for free days. So I was there, for those who don't know, I was there on Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and on Friday we were just there getting an idea of what the place was like and what everything was about, but then on Saturday I had a mission and I had to take care of getting myself ready to get up on stage to do a panel with the other Sega Masters, and this is how it went.
Wow, let's do this. Today, let's go back to a time before YouTube guides, streamers, Reddit, back to when if you were stuck on a game, you would have to wait for a magazine to be released, listen to bogus schoolyard rumors, or give a call to a nice friendly stranger on the Sega hotline and ask for help. Please give a massive welcome to 4 of those oh so knowledgeable strangers: Tim Gadler, Nick Smith, Tim Smith, and Sin Spacey's Costello Bryan. Look at you guys.
Hello.
Wow.
We're so baby-faced and cute then. I don't know what happened in 25 years.
I think I fared all right.
I wish I had my hair back, but anyway, that's not the story.
One, please, everyone wants to know, how did this all start for you guys? Like, please take us through those stories.
It's got the shortest story.
Oh, well, yeah, okay, there's me. Yeah, the Sega Times was a thing that I always loved buying and reading magazines, and I wanted to do it myself. And I had very limited computers and printers and whatnot to do it with, but I was just so determined. And a guy that used to distribute imported Mega Drive titles was going to help me with this, and I ended up putting together a magazine and sending it to Sega, and that's how I ended up getting my job, because I was sending them copies of this, and eventually they had a change of management, and the first task that new manager had was to put me on the hotline.
Thank you.
So great. And of course you four, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you.
And thanks to the AV guys, no one ever thanks them.
So that was a panel that we put together, just talking about what it was like working at Sega, or the Sega hotline as we used to call it, working on the Sega hotline back in the 90s, and it was a really cool experience, and we are hopeful that we can do something similar next year. Not the exact same panel, we will be mixing it up with something different, but that is subject to approval. So watch this space. We might be available to do another panel next year, but this is where I am calling out to you guys watching this. If you are jealous that you didn't get to PAX 2019, well, maybe you should start thinking about saving for PAX 2020. And I don't mean that in a patronizing way. I do mean start thinking about saving and planning now. Now, we don't know the exact date of when PAX is on, so that's something that we have to wait for, that announcement, but start getting ready. You know it's going to be sometime October, unless they make a drastic change. And you know that there hasn't been anything to indicate that it's not going to be anywhere else except Melbourne. So be prepared to travel. Give yourself at least a week, so have at least a week's worth of leave planned, so that you can take that week off like I did and not have anything get in the way, and have a chance to meet up and interact with us other gamers. And instead of just shout outs, follow Friday once a week, etc., you can get a chance to actually meet up with us and just gel for the week, and it will be a really cool chance to meet up with you guys. So that was it was cool that I got to meet some of the guys that I did, but I at the whole time kept thinking there is an opportunity here for more of us to get together and just hang out for 3 days like mates. It'll be so cool to have that chance once a year. I would like it to be an annual thing. PAX is already an annual thing. We just got to make it that we go to it as our little hangout. So that's an idea I've got to put out to you guys. If you're thinking about it or you're hesitant, stop thinking or stop hesitating. Start planning. Plan to get to PAX 2020. I'd love to see you guys there. And for those who are worried about the long queues, there's nothing there that was really that long a queue to wait for. Like, how would I put it? The longest queue that I saw was for Luigi Mansion 3. Now, you can, if you buy a 3-day pass, get that out of the way on day one, because the big crowds are on Saturday, and then spend your Saturday and Sunday just going around the different panels that you missed, the different stalls and sections, and you can just get an opportunity to catch what you missed. In 3 days, you should be able to get a very good idea of what the whole PAX could offer. It's very hard to capture everything, even in 3 days. One thing I couldn't do was interviews, and that was kind of a disappointment. I wanted to be able to just chat with the developers of these indie games, and that was another thing that was really cool, was seeing all these up and rising developers, they were calling them. That was really cool to see the different ideas and really cool playable games that they had on offer, considering they're working on such low budgets. It was really awesome to see that. I wanted to do interviews with those guys, but my camera has a really bad microphone on it, and the only mic I've got is this little lapel thing that you can see here. So I've gone and got myself a microphone, which I'll whack it there in edit. That's going to be for future PAX interviews and just other conventions. I wanted the microphone to be able to interview people out in the wild, so that's something that will be happening more often on the channel as soon as I get that. So that was my quick update on PAX 2019. So sorry it took so long to get this up on the channel. Also, on top of my personal health, the other reason why I had delays is that my cat, Fufu, you've seen her in 1 or 2 videos in the past. She's currently not doing too well. She's in a vet at the moment. She's on emergency care at this stage, so we're keeping an eye out for her. And while that was going on, I found out that my dad had just had a heart attack. So it's all happening at once, and I'm trying to process it all. So if I don't do many videos in the next couple of days, or possibly weeks, you'll now know why. So trying to process all of this at once and also organize everything on a logistic basis. So the channel might get a little bit of a second preference or third preference in, or priority I should say, in the whole scheme of things. So I'm not giving up the channel. I'm doing okay emotionally and mentally. So you guys don't need to ever worry about that with me. But just let you know that there's going to be some delays in videos coming up. I'll try to continue to stream though over the next few weeks on back to a regular basis. The reason why I wasn't streaming last week was health. So yeah, it's all fun and games here. But anyway, please, in the comment section down below, let me know, are you interested in going to PAX 2020? And this is not just for people living in Australia. I'm looking at anyone that's overseas, the UK, US, Germany, New Zealand, wherever, Canada. If you guys are watching from any of those countries or anywhere else and you're thinking you're wanting an excuse to come to Australia, that's a perfect excuse to come here. So for 3 days, you can hang out with Aussie gamers and also meet some Aussie gamers here from social media like YouTube and Twitter. Give it some thought. I'd love to see some of you guys from overseas come over, and also some of you YouTubers as well. It'll be a great chance to see some YouTubers come out to Australia and just hang out with us lot. Anyway, I'm rambling. My name's been Brian and I've been gaming since Spaceys. Thanks guys.
Since Spaceys.